One could definitely argue that all forms of animation are, by definition, cinema. But recently, famous director Martin Scorsese dropped a spicy hot take drawing a line between cinema and audio-visual entertainment. He argues in modern blockbusters like Marvel films, nothing is at risk. The pictures are made to satisfy a specific set of demands, and they are designed as variations on a finite number of themes. Market researched, audience tested, vetted, modified, revetted, and remodified until they're ready for consumption. Marvel movies might boast great talent and artistry, but at the end of the day, they're still commercial products. This tension of authorship and business is a difficult, long-running game that all art forms are compulsed into playing, and anime is no exception. While there's plenty of crazy, artful, experimental OVAs, movies, and TV shows, anime is still largely dictated by production committees. It's why a lot of anime is made at all, not to be its own thing, but simply to promote another product. That's one reason why we're getting so many light novel adaptations. There's business to be made in them. The major reason why we have the kaiji anime at all was because it was made to promote the live-action movies at the time. This is most apparent in manga adaptations, many of which don't take creative liberties if they don't have to. A practice that's been around since Astro Boy and still carried today, taking the existing pages of manga and using them as a storyboard, directly translating what's on the page to the screen. Deviate in any way and you'd be doing a disservice to the source. That's a common sentiment in our community and likely the industry too, as seen with Studio Bones' shift in business model from producing long-running shows to incremental seasons. Why take the risk when you can make a one-for-one adaptation instead? It's easy. It's foolproof. It's safe. When you take a wildly popular manga like Ashita no Joe, there's no real reason to not simply animate what's on the page. Yet, that's exactly what Osamu Dezaki chose not to do. Animation, and by extension film, are not the same medium as comics. And Dezaki uses the language of cinema to tell these stories in bold and unforgettable ways. The majority of his most famous work, like Joe, Aim for the Ace, Rose of Versailles, Space Cobra, Golgo 13, Blackjack, and Oniisama A, were manga adaptations. But almost never does he adapt them one for one. Instead, Dezaki taps into the experimental and revolutionary period of filmmaking of the 50s and 60s, like French New Wave and films by Akira Kurosawa. In much of his work, Dezaki himself does the storyboarding, using framing devices, establishing shots, and lots and lots and lots of Dutch angles. He even plays with camera focus, like he's filming things that aren't just painted drawings. He moves the camera, panning and zooming in and out of frame that manga can't quite replicate. But at the same time, he uses the limitless medium of animation to create images that even film wishes it could articulate. Sometimes this means adjusting the events of the story, or adding additional context, or embellishing other aspects for the sake of the runtime or pace, but that's what makes it unique, instead of redundant. Something that can stand on its own and not just an alternative, inferior to the real deal. He makes this material distinctly his own, and most importantly, he was one of the first anime directors to do this. Anime original content is one thing, but exercising creative control with existing material like this paved the way for countless other directors to express themselves and ultimately make better anime. I'm a believer that an adaptation is meant to succeed its predecessor, to take an already good story and breathe new life into it, add more meaning, and fully realize the feelings it was always meant to convey. Osamu Dezaki was a pioneer in making anime a respectable art form, not simply an advertisement in the pursuit of business. To, ironically, quote Walt Disney, "We don't make movies to make money. We make money to make more movies."